The fact that it's a bubble tea maker that makes the biggest IPO in Hong Kong this year, I mean, that just tells us a lot, I guess. What does it tell us?
Yeah, I mean, normally you could imagine it would be tech or AI, but now we're talking about consumer and bubble tea. And then Sichuan by Chabaidao, or better known as the name Chabaidao, they raised more than 330 million in Hong Kong this year, debuting today. And then it's the biggest IPO in Hong Kong this year, or even since November. It's like a little bit about 6 months now. So we can see, yeah, it's like a testing ground for Hong Kong Stock Exchange data, and also like global investors' confidence to like any of the Chinese consumer markets.
Yeah, this one might actually lead other players in the sector to come out. If I'm being honest, though,
it doesn't bode well, though.
I wouldn't come to the market looking at this first day. We're not 22%, but talk to us about the other players in this thriving sector.
I mean, by Chabaidao, it's actually the third largest player in terms of sales value and the store number in China. But like, there's the biggest player called Mixue Group. They are famous for selling drinks at $1 per drink.
What?
And then like they have this like super low price strategy across the. I mean, you can try it someday.
Okay. I like how you answered that question.
And also, there are actually at least 6 other Chinese players have indicated or hinted at IPO or global offerings in Hong Kong and US coming.
Ada, I mean, I've never heard of this name before, and I can't really count with my hand how many there are out there. How competitive is it now?
It is an incredibly competitive landscape there. There are over 3,000 these freshly made tea brands in China alone, with over 420,000 shops across China.
Wow.
I mean, just imagine the competitive landscape. So based on some research that I've read, within a kilometer radius of the top 10 shopping center or district in China, you can find 50 of these shops within that 1 kilometer radius. Within the top 10 shopping malls in China, in every of the shopping malls, you can find 10 of them.
Wow.
I mean, this is massive competition. And that's why you see a lot of these companies trying to come onto the IPO market, getting more funding, and then they can expand more beyond the tier 1 city. You see all these companies are trying to expand into tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities just to get more customers. And that's why, as Venice mentioned before, about the pricing competition coming along as well.
Is that the main source of differentiation here? How does one stand out amidst what is seemingly a saturated market, no pun intended?
Well, funny enough, it's not a saturated market yet because the demand for bubble tea seems insatiable in China. In fact, what Frost & Sullivan has been saying is that they're expecting 15% CAGR growth over the next 5 years. That means the market could more than double to about 540 billion yuan by 2028. I mean, this is a massive growing market. And when you compare that to ready-to-drink tea drinks, so those are the ones in bottles readily available at supermarkets and convenience stores, those are expected to grow at between 1% to 2% over the 5 years. So it is a massively growing market, and people seem to be increasing the demand for it as well. In terms of the differentiating strategy, pricing is one. But the other thing is the brand recognition. You want people to hold your cup. And that's what you want, is the association of a lifestyle, of a brand, of what you aspire to be. So that's what they're working on. So one hand is premiumization, but the other hand is, the brand recognition.
I think for people in Asia, they probably know bubble tea quite well. I'm just wondering, for an international audience, they might not know what bubble tea really is. But Venus, I mean, can you tell us a bit more about the varieties, right? I mean, there are just so many varieties. I mean, in Baichai, that was 100 varieties of tea, is what the name is called. But, I mean, first of all, just what is it? And why is it so popular, do you think, among
I mean, as
consumers?
Ada has mentioned, we see so many brands in China emerging every week right now. And then, I mean, a little bit like Starbucks, they could, you just go into one shop, it could, like from the topping or to the add-on, you can red bean, tayobo, like cheese foam. And then like, in terms of tea base, you can have pure, like jasmine tea. It could, and even for sweetness and Eisenbach sweetness you can pair with it, and it's like a little bit of a tailor-made drink for you. Like every time, say, you can have the unique experience for the drink. So that's probably also adding to the craze of the like millennial or Gen Z populations in China, or even they are trying to tap the global markets.
Right. Ada, I'll bring you in because you also cover not just this, right? You cover booze makers, for example. Correct. And I'm wondering, is this a mega trend? Is this a shift in preferences? Generational shift, quite literally, away from alcohol to...
Or even just, I mean, Starbucks has been trying to get, do well in this market in China. And really, you can't quite beat tea in China.
You can't beat tea in China. I think Chinese, is a tea drinking population, so to speak. In terms of booze, though, I think people are looking for healthier lifestyle. So that's why they are also, the booze maker also making zero alcohol content beer, so for example. And people are looking for healthier alternative, like less sugar, more healthier alternative. So what we have seen in Shanghai is they recently roll out the Nutri-Grade system for the boba tea and the other beverages as well, that they grade the different ingredients from A to D, and then so to tell you, are they saturated fat, are they less sugar? So people are looking for healthier alternatives as well.
Team, thank you so much. Great stuff. Ada Lee there and Venus Feng on the IPO, the sector, and how sweet it is.
Any chance to talk about bubble tea? But you talk about healthy options. I don't know if bubble tea is really that healthy, right?
Diabetes has entered the chat.
You probably see more of these brands are coming. I mean, like Hong Kong has been like one of their key testing ground for international market, or at least they would be happy to put a location in Hong Kong as like an overseas market for them, like in the perspective.
I'm a traditional girl. I think I like my milk tea and tapioca balls, and that's it. I don't want any variation. What about you? What's your drink of choice?
I like taking pictures of the lion around a lot of these stores, around where I live. That's my hobby. That's how I'm involved here.
All right.
But I can see how anyway.
I'll take your orders later, ladies. All right.